Welcome, monsters and ghouls, to my spooky new series of Writing into the Day. This series will feature texts that certainly go bump in the night, and you may even want to keep your lights on for some of these spine-chilling reads. To start off my special Spooktober edition of Writing into the Day podcast, today's podcast will be featuring a poem by Siegfried Sassoon. As I read this poem, I want you to think about ghosts and the possible reasons of ghostly hauntings. In this poem, Graves writes about his former friends from the war and how they seemingly seem to haunt him. I want you to think about how Graves' friends haunt him and why he cannot stop thinking about them. Keep these ideas in mind as I read. Haunted by Siegfried Sassoon. Evening was in the wood, lowering with storm. A time of drought had sucked the weedy pool and baked the channels. Birds had done with song. Thirst was a dream of fountains in the moon, or willow music blown across the water, leisurely sliding on by weir and mill. Uneasy was the man who wandered, brooding, his face a little whiter than the dusk. A drone of sultry wings flickered in his head. The end of sunset, burning through the boughs, died in a smear of red. Exhausted hours cumbered, and ugly sorrows hemmed him in. He thought, "Somewhere there's thunder," as he strove to shake off dread. He dared not look behind him, but stood, the sweat of horror on his face. He blundered down a path, trampling on thistles, in sudden race to leave the ghostly trees. And, "Soon I'll be in open fields," he thought, and half remembered starlight on the meadows, scent of mown grass and voices of tired men fading along the field paths, home and sleep, and cool swept upland spaces, whispering leaves, and far off the long churring nightjar notes. But something in the wood, trying to daunt him, led him confused in circles through the thicket. He was forgetting his old wretched folly, and freedom was his need. His throat was choking. Barbed brambles gripped and clawed him round his legs, and he floundered over snags and hidden stumps, mumbling, "I will get out. I must get out," butting and thrusting up the baffling gloom and pausing to listen in a space twixt thorns. He peers around with peering, frantic eyes, an evil creature in the twilight looping. Flapped blindly in his face, beating it off, he screeched in terror, and straightway something clambered heavily from an oak and dropped double to shamble at him, zigzag, squat, and bestial. Headlong he charges down the wood and falls with roaring brain. Agony, the snapped smark, and blots of green and purple in his eyes. Then the slow fingers groping on his neck, and at his heart the strangling clasp of death. Now, we will be writing for at least 3 minutes, or however long the creative current takes you. Again, write as quickly and as specifically as you can about whatever this poem brings to your mind. If you find yourself drawing a blank, you can take a line from the poem and use it to lead your thinking. Please pause the podcast now, and when you are finished, please unpause. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, check out my hashtag MSMReadyToRead and follow me on Instagram at ms_martins_class for more spooky writing into the day and fun lessons that are sure to engage you and your little monsters. Thanks for listening.